Well, obviously it's bear season here, Jackson Hole and the Tetons, but more importantly, we're gonna give you 5 reasons, 5 steps to take your run goals from hibernation to reality. A few years back, I traveled to India to do a 3-city speaking tour.
What is happening? I'll tell you last time the same energy group came, but I charged them.
And I was also fortunate enough to give a 3-day run camp for coaches. And the idea behind this was that running is exploding in India, and my partners in this project were looking to promote trail running, and more specifically to go above and beyond the 40K marathon distance and really promote ultra running within India. And during the camp, our focus was really providing the message to these coaches of what our true strength foundation is for runners that are looking to go above and beyond the marathon distance into ultras. And so we focused on run form, a lot of strength drills, and how all that plays into becoming a strong, healthy runner for performance and longevity. And during this time, I was so fortunate to really get to know one of the runners named Sonnet, who was just, not only was he a beautiful runner, he was just a beautiful human being. And we just really hit it off from a mindset standpoint and how to, how he was living his life and what he wanted to do with his running. So it was a wonderful surprise that this morning I opened up my feed to Instagram and saw a beautiful post by Sonnet. So I'm going to read Sonnet's post because it really includes the 5 components I believe that are necessary to achieving your goals as a runner and is in life. So here goes. On a gloomy evening on the 6th of October, 2019, I found myself going through the coverage of Solang Sky Ultra Trail Run by the Hell Race. I had just quit my job in June and moved back to Jaipur. I was looking to explore an alternative lifestyle and take up running much more seriously. But the timing was quite uncanny. I had planned to quit my job at the beginning of the year, and as this time passed, I got a serious running injury. I finally had all the time in the world to focus on training, but I could not run. An empty mind is a devil's mind. All of this was quite overwhelming, and my initial reaction was that of becoming a victim. I gave a lot of power to negative interpretations and entertained a lot of my many insecurities. I was lucky enough to stop myself from going into a downward spiral just in time. I realized that instead of sulking, what I needed is a goal which is so big that it scares me to death. But only something so big and maybe even partially unrealistic would be worth obsessing over. So I took a notepad and wrote the boldest thing that came to my mind that night. Here is what he wrote. This day next year in October 2020, I will finish and podium in either a 30K or 50K ultramarathon. I shared it with my family to keep me accountable, and that was that. No more sulking. Not being able to run a single step, I had a huge task ahead of me for the next year. What followed was a long, eventful year that saw me getting engaged, moving to Bur, the freaking pandemic, and other stories of loss and uncertainty. But I had found my why, and it helped me show up every single day. The 10th of October, 2020 was a beautiful day, full of ups and downs when I finally was able to execute a decent performance and meet my goal. Anyway, this post is not for me to brag about what I accomplished. Running for me means so much more than just the physical aspects of training. It is a medium to explore what life can offer. It is the pursuit of a craft that allows me to experience the unlimited potentialities that I can be realized. I just want to explore what is possible for me, though this is my medium. And I hope you too can do that through a medium that resonates for you. So what an amazing message. And let's start with number one, as far as the ingredients needed to realize your goals. And first and foremost, the obvious is that he wrote down his goal. He made it very specific as to what he wanted to achieve. He wanted to finish and podium. Very, very specific, very, very measurable, very, very important. Secondly, he told people about it. He mentioned how he told his parents to keep him accountable. And third, and maybe more important than telling people, it goes hand in hand. Second and third goes hand in hand. Telling people to keep yourself accountable, but then surrounding with people that support your goal. Your goal is a team effort, and it's up to you to foster your goal with the people within your circle, so they can embrace this goal, they are with you with this goal, and that they can support you with this goal. Number 4, a big goal that scares you to death. I talk so much about this. It's why I titled my book, The Cool Impossible. It's got to be something you don't think is possible. And for Sonnet, when he was so injured he could not run, he is picking a goal that's not only to finish, but to podium. And that's, at that point, seemed impossible. So what's happening here? I'm reading you a post by someone none of you know. I'm using an example of someone's great goal and story that none of you know. And he's inspiring me when I read this morning, man, that I want to start thinking about next year's goals. And it truly motivated me for what he wrote. And that's number 5, is that a lot of times I see so many runners think their personal goals are selfish. And if they have very specific, very demanding goals, that being selfish steers them away from going after their goals. And they feel guilty because they think of it as selfish. But if we turn that around and realize that it is not selfish, is that what we're doing as an individual, challenging ourselves to a big goal, resonates with so many people, not only around us, but anybody you come in contact with that you tell your story to, it can be motivating to other people, just like this story is of Sonnet. So instead of seeing your goal, your personal goal, as something selfish that may cause you to hesitate in having a big enough goal that we've talked about, see it as something that resonates with all the people within your circle, and realize you can motivate, you can inspire other people by how they view you achieving your goal. And it's not so much the achievement, but how you're living your life during that period of time that you're training for your goal. That inspires people. This is not a selfish thing. Okay? Sonnet inspired me. He inspired a lot of people. He's inspired you, hopefully, through this story. And that was his point, is that what can you do that resonates with you, that's big, that scares you to death, that you might be able to inspire someone else? That's the cool impossible.